Welcome to Super Sunita's Happy World channel. Today, friends, I'm going to discuss the poem The Commentator. So, it is written by Gareth Owen, who is an award winning English writer and a poet. And his works are very humorous and insightful. And he has especially done a lot of work for children, which is widely appreciated. So, friends, let's get to understand this poem. Friends, this is a very interesting poem, and when you read this poem, it sounds as if it's an incident which is happening somewhere in your neighborhood. You can relate it to some event or other in your life. Okay? With this thought in your mind, let's get into this poem. So, this poem is it's about a 9-year-old boy whose name is Danny Markey, and he is commenting about a football match. Okay, now let's read the lines. Good afternoon and welcome. Who is saying this? Danny Markey. This is Danny Markey, your commentator, welcoming you to this international between England and Holland, which is being played here this afternoon. So it here, Danny Markey is welcoming the audience. He's greeting them by saying good afternoon and welcome to the match. And he's also introducing that his name is Danny Markey and he's the commentator for the match. And the match is he's exaggerating. Actually, it's a neighborhood football match which is being played by the boys. But Danny Markey is exaggerating by saying, welcoming you to this international. He's exaggerating by saying it's an international match which is being played between England and Holland, and which is being played here this afternoon. Okay, this afternoon they are conducting the match, or they are organizing the match that afternoon. All right, the next lines. And the next lines are at 4 Florence Terrace, and the pitch looks in superb condition as Danny Markey prepares. So, at where it is being conducted? It is being conducted at the, what is the place? 4 Florence Terrace. Okay? And also, whenever a football match or cricket match is conducted, before the match begins, even the commentator talks about the pitch. So here the commentator, that is Danny Markey, he's saying that the pitch is also in superb condition. It's excellent as Danny Markey prepares. And you have to understand one thing here, children. You might be having a doubt. You're saying Danny Markey is the commentator. Now you're saying he's preparing. He's preparing for the match. Yeah. In this particular poem, Danny Markey is the commentator as well as a player. So he's preparing for the play. It is a local football match, neighborhood football match. Okay. Now let's get into the next lines. To kick off for England, and this capacity crowd roars as Markey, the England captain, puts England on the attack. So, to kick start means he's starting off for England. And as Markey, the England captain, he's the captain for the England football team, puts England on the attack. Okay. Next, straight away it's Markey with a lovely pass to Keegan. Keegan back to Markey. Markey in possession now. Possession is he's having the football with him now. So here we get to know about how the match is progressing. Straight away it's Markey. First it went to straight to Markey with a lovely pass. Again the football pass to Keegan. And from Keegan back to Markey. From Keegan ball went back to Markey. And Markey is in the possession of the football now. Okay. Now let's get to the next lines. Jinking skillfully past the dustbin. Jinking is again usually a term used in the match. Means you change the direction. Okay, change the direction, avoiding the other player from getting the ball. Past the dustbin. See, here we get to know that it's a neighborhood match. Okay, from those things at floor 4 Florence Terrace, past the dustbin, you get to understand that it's only a local match. And a neat flick inside the cat there. What a brilliant player this Marquis is. And still only 9 years old. So, and a neat flick. That the flick means a quick movement, a sudden quick movement inside the cat there. Cat is also the ball is passing by the cat. And what a brilliant player this Marquis is. He's only talking about his own, performance in the match, because he's the player as well as the commentator. So you get to know that Marquis is the player and the commentator. And he's saying Marquis is a brilliant player. Okay. And still he's only 9 years old. He's not usually whenever you watch a commentator in any match, they are grown-ups. They have experience in the game. Some of them are the players only, so they have considerable experience, significant experience. But here in this match you find that Marquis, who is also the player as well as the commentator, is just 9 years old. He's not an experienced commentator. I mean, he's just a 9-year-old boy. Now let's get back to the other lines. So here the ball is being passed to Marquis to Francis, another boy, Francis to Marquis. Marquis is through. No, he has been tackled by the drain pipe, handled. I mean, it's very quite common whenever, because the match, it's being played at the 4 Florence terrace. It's being played on the terrace. So it got somewhere stuck in the drain pipe. Okay. So that ball is there, but he has won the ball back brilliantly. That is, Marquis is again able to get back the ball, and he's advancing on the Dutch keeper now. It must be a goal. He's trying to get a goal. Okay, he comes off his line, but Marquis chips him brilliantly. That is, the goalkeeper is trying to prevent him from putting the ball. But again, Marquis chips him brilliantly. In the sense, he kicks or strikes the ball away from someone. Chips means you kick or strike the ball away from someone. It's a goal. It's gone into Mrs. Spence's next door. And Marquis is going around to ask for his ball back. The crowd is silent now. Oh my God. There is a problem now. So it's a goal. Marquis no doubt achieved a goal by preventing others from achieving the goal. But after achieving the goal, the ball has gone into Mrs. Spence's next door. The ball went into the Mrs. Spence's next door. From here also you get to know that the ball is being played, the football match is being played in the neighborhood, not in some stadium, right? And Marquis is going around to ask for his ball back. And Marquis, he's asking he is going around how to get the ball back. There is a problem now. There is some tension is building up. The crowd is silent now. The crowd is silent. They're worried. Oh, the ball went into Mrs. Spence's door. How to get it back? There's a problem. They're worried how the match progresses, because the match cannot be played without a ball. If he cannot get the ball back, it could be the end of this international. Obviously, they need a football to play with. So, if Mrs. Spence doesn't allow them to get the ball, if there is a problem, then it could be the end of this international match, the so-called international match. It's just a local neighborhood match. But since Marquis is exaggerating this, okay, they are the lines, in the lines you get to know that it's an international feel, though it's a local match which is being played. And now the door's opening, and yes, it is Mrs. Spence. And Mrs. Spence has come to the door. And wait a minute, she is shaking her head. She is shaking her head. She's not going to let Marquis have his ball back. Oh my God. There is a problem here. That's why the crowd is silent. And if you look here, the problem has got bigger. Why? Because the door opened. On hearing the noise, the door opened. And Mrs. Spency came out and opened the door. And wait a minute. She is, now non-verbally showing the reaction. Somebody must have asked her the ball. She's shaking her head as if she's not going to let Marquis have his ball back, right? So now obviously the problem got bigger. What is the referee going to do? Marquis looks very dejected. Oh my God. What the referee is going to do now? What the commentator is going to do now? Marquis looks very dejected. Dejected in the sense sad. He's walking back, hanging his head. Okay? Now, trying to understand how to get back the ball. He's worried. So what he's doing now? He seems to be waiting. And my goodness me, he's going back. Marquis is going back for the ball. What a brilliant and exciting move. He waited until the front door was closed and then went back for that lost ball. So, Marquis, what he did? He waited. He waited till the door is closed by Mrs. Spency. Then he went back after Mrs. Spency closed the door. He went back for the ball. And here it's a brilliant move. He did not accept the defeat, thinking that Mrs. Spency wouldn't give the ball. After she closed the door, he went for the ball and then went back for the lost ball. He's searching now. He's searching for that ball down there by the compost heap. Compost, compost means a pile of garden and organic waste, okay, which we decompose to produce fertilizer, which can be used for the plant, okay, organically prepared. So, and wait a minute, he has found it. So after Mrs. Spency closed the door, Marquis went again. He didn't lose hope. He went again, searched for the ball. He found it by the next to the compost heap. And wait a minute. Oh, it's so exciting. He found the ball. He has found it. What does it mean? Marquis found the ball. He has found that ball. And that is marvelous news for the 100,000 fans gathered here, who are showing their appreciation in no uncertain fashion. So here, friends, he found the ball. No doubt it's a good news. But if you observe, there is a poetic device which is used here. For the 100,000 fans gathered here, it's a hyperbole, which is exaggerating the things as, more than what they are, right? Now, in no uncertain fashion, but wait a minute, the door is opening once more. So in this paragraph, when Marquis found the ball, it's a marvelous news. And this is an exaggeration, as I told you, for the 100,000 fans gathered there. And later, wait a minute, the door opened once more. It's her, it's Mrs. Spency. And she's waving her fist and shouting something, but I can't make out what it is. And it's Mrs. Spency, and she's waving her fist and shouting something, but I can't make out what it is. Okay, so we understood that Marquis went for the ball. After the door is closed, he was able to get back the ball. So here, Mrs. Spency is there again. The door opened once again after Marquis found the ball from the compost. And Mrs. Spency is waving her fist. She's angry and shouting something, but nobody, but especially Marquis, is not able to understand. Mark is unable to make what she is trying to communicate. Mrs. Here Mrs. Spencer is obviously not happy, and Markey is off. He's running round in circles. Markey is running in circles, dodging this way and that, with Mrs. Spencer in hot pursuit. And he's past her. What skills this boy has. So here we get to know that Mrs. Spencer is very angry with Markey. She's angry, she's scolding him, but Markey doesn't know what she's trying to tell him. And though she's trying to chase him, he's behind her. He is behind her, and this boy has remarkable skills. He was able to get away from Mrs. Spencer. So this is the poem, children. I hope you like this poem very much. Please do share with your friends. Give a like to my poem and share my channel with your friends and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching.